Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Dumb Dad Podcast. My name is Evan, and I'm a dumb dad.
Hey, everybody. My name is Kevin, and I am also a dumb dad.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
You know, you'd think we'd learn.
Why?
Well, after all this time.
Huh?
I'm a dad. Hey, my name's Evan. I'm a dad. Nope. I mean, it would be
you think we're going to graduate?
No, he'd be off-brand anyway. I was just thinking.
I think it's the honesty that keeps him coming back. I think if we
Yeah.
start to pretend like I think we figured it out.
Yeah.
They're gonna know we're wrong. They're not gonna want to listen anymore. Or they will want to listen because then they'll come back and go like,
yeah,
the dumb's no longer silent again.
Here's the other thing too. They're parents, right? Our audience is parents.
Yeah.
And they sense pretending because there's a lot of it that goes on.
Oh, a lot of parenting is pretending.
Yeah. Well, also the kids pretend a lot, and it's like,
when you're around
you're not doing a good job pretending.
You're around a lot of serious grown-ups that are like, I don't know, anybody here's any fun. So then you just play along.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to go with the flow sometimes.
That's true.
You want to be silly and goof around, and some of them, the parents aren't interested in that.
We taught my daughter that phrase tonight. Go with the flow. Because she came home and what were they doing? Oh, my son had soccer practice, and so he was getting himself cleaned up, and she was in the bathroom, and then I think she was drawing on the bathroom scale or something.
Okay. I'm
Somewhere
so interested to see where go with the flow is on this.
Well, it's like this is kind of the lead into all of this commotion. You know, you're not supposed to be doing that.
Right.
And Mommy came in there and sternly said, that's not what we do. I told you we weren't going to draw on anything in here, and I came back in and you were doing it, so you weren't listening.
So she's already doing it once.
She's already kind of threatening to do it once or like pretending something, and then did it. And so it was like a stern, like, I told you not to, you did it anyway. Go put that away. Go put the pen away. You know, something like that.
Yeah.
And even the idea of her feeling like she was getting in a lot of trouble sent her over the edge.
Even though she was told not to.
Here's the thing. It's like it's clearly one of those things where they're really tired and they're really hungry. And so that little moment there just sent her over the edge, and she was like full-blown tantrum. Not tantrum mad at us or anything, but like crying.
Oh, not happy with you guys.
Yeah, not happy with us.
It's your fault.
And I sat her down. I was like, look, you're not in trouble, okay? Because you didn't listen, but now we know. Okay, let's just do that. Let's take a deep breath and calm down. And now we know. For next time, if it feels, I said, do we draw on things like that? No. What do we draw on? Paper. I was like, that's right. So next time, if you think, should I draw on this or should I not draw on this? If you think the answer might be no, then let's just not do it. And that's fine, okay? So just for next time, okay? And if you don't listen then you're probably going to get in trouble, okay? But let's just not do it next time. And she's like, okay, but she still couldn't like collect herself. And so she's like on the couch, she's crying. And we're just kind of letting her have her moment. You know, sometimes they just got to get it out of the system kind of thing. It was hard to, couldn't really bring her back.
And sometimes you're just not in the mood.
Sometimes you're not in the mood.
Sometimes
you think like, man.
You're like, man, I'm letting them have a moment, but you're also like having a moment because you're like, I don't want to sit with this.
No. I can't even hear the show. And then I brought out dinner. When they were at soccer practice and everything, I was getting dinner together. So I bring dinner out, set it on the table, and then it's like, I don't want that. And it was like, my wife and I are calmly going, great, and you don't have to eat it.
Yeah.
And if you get hungry, it's right there for you. I mean, it took a while for her to finally calm down. And then somebody on a show said, like we were listening to or something, said, go with the flow. And she laughed. She goes, go with the flow. She kind of like snapped out of her moment there.
She's like, not on your life.
And, I was like, do you know what that means? And she's like, no. And I said, well, it's like if somebody hands you, deals you a hand that you're not really happy with, you kind of just make the best of it.
Yeah.
Like your dinner there. It's like,
nice.
You don't have to eat the chicken. You don't have to eat the rice. You could eat them together. You could take a bite of one of them. You could just eat the carrots. I mean, we kind of kept, when she does that, it's like, you can kind of test how your kid's doing by going, you just grab a carrot from the bowl and just like sneak it to her. And then like the little hen grabs it and then you hear her eating the carrot behind you.
Yeah.
You don't acknowledge it.
No.
Because that would ruin it. But it's like,
certainly
you're so hungry. Yeah, certainly don't praise it. Whew. You make that mistake once or twice, and then it's like, I don't want the carrot anyway, and then the carrot goes across the room.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like, that's a little bit of experience there. Hand her the carrot. She starts snapping on it. It's like, man, tired and hungry. Okay, so we'll just get to bedtime. So our mission is to get to bedtime with the least amount of hiccups. But anyway,
It's a bummer we can't explain to kids that they're just
being assholes.
being assholes.
I know.
But it's like they're also just not enjoying the best parts of life. And there's nothing you can do about it because you
No.
didn't either.
No.
And if
Yeah.
they have kids, they won't either.
No.
And it's this vicious cycle of it's not even grass is always greener, but it's because like they're just mad and it's like, I just served you dinner of stuff that's at worst bland.
And at the same time, like, kind of a staple. We've had this many times.
Yeah,
You've sat there and crushed it many times.
exactly.
And then to sit there and say, crying, I don't like that. I don't like that. It's like, well, you're not. It's yeah, you do. I hear you that you're mad, but you're wrong.
I know.
You do like that.
And it's a bummer that you're behaving this way and there's nothing I can do to fix it. Do you know how much I
Yeah.
wish I could just sit there and have hot food come to me, eat 2 bites, and apparently everyone's happy with me, and then take that plate and slam dunk it in the sink before emptying out the food, and then not worrying about any of it ever again.
Yeah,
That
right?
sounds great.
That sounds like an absolute dream.
I can do that once before I'm knocking on your door with a suitcase.
Once. It's a tight ship over here at the
That's not-
farriers.
That's not true. I could do that once before someone just,
There might be a conversation.
hey, let me know when you're going to get around to those dishes that you started. That's what I will hear. If I had the audacity, the nerve. The nerve.
My wife did say something like that to me the other day. It was something like late at night, I put a glass in the sink, and she's like, when I unload the dishwasher and do the dishes and the dishwasher's empty, can you just put it in the sink? And I was like, yeah, I hear you.
Do I have to now, though I'm sitting?
It's 2:30 in the morning. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Babe. Hey, babe.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
And not in all laziness, but just like, I'm going to go to bed, so I wander in the kitchen and set it there. I'm just like tired. Probably fell asleep on the couch. And it's like, doesn't mean you still can't just put it in the dishwasher.
When you're going for the lunge, when you're doing a quick pickup and you just lunge towards the sink, it's easier to.
Yeah. It is easier. You're right.
Uh-huh. That's why you did
What's
it.
not easy
That's why you did it.
is committing to unloading the whole dishwasher before you go to bed.
Yeah.
And then your lazy husband just throws that in the sink for tomorrow morning.
You're a bad partner.
Well, hold on. To you or my wife? I think we get along pretty well.
Let's move on.
I'm going to leave this mug here.
Oh, not the sink. I just want to say a quick thing. I'm not so people who listen. I think I talked about I got Invisalign. I'm not going to get in the details of it, but I will mention the fact that I went today for an appointment, and people who have been listening to the podcast have known you've gone through some experiences with your son having braces and a retainer, and
Some
all
experiences.
all the joy of that.
Yes.
So today,
It's been a hot topic around the dumb dad's atmosphere.
So today I had one of those experiences again, being with serious adults who aren't in a playful mood.
Right.
They weren't in a bad mood. I just don't think they recognized a joke,
Well, they're dentists.
and that's fine.
Yeah. They're dentists, Kevin. I mean, what are we doing here?
But I had my so people who don't know, Invisalign is just a I don't know. It's like this plastic case that goes over your teeth. A perfect
It's a perfect glove fit.
perfect glove fit to your teeth, and you change them out every week or 2 weeks to get your teeth to where they need to be. So I had
It's like
already
braces. They tighten them.
yeah.
Same
Instead
thing.
of
They change the
tightening
mold
braces,
to
change the mold.
persuade your teeth to find a new home.
Move over here, idiot. You look ridiculous.
Yeah, you better stop crowding around.
Yeah.
Well, you can all have a good view.
Everybody was going to get a turn. Let's get back in line.
The food goes in one way, it goes out the other
Yeah.
way. Okay, everyone's gonna get a shot.
So
Now that's only a mouth reference. That's not.
yeah. So I went in today. I went in today knowing I was going to get another mold. So I get in the seat and I was like, "Do you want me to take out my Invisalign?" They're like, "No, not yet." The dentist wants to look at it. I was like, "Sure." So I'm sitting in the chair, and then the dentist takes a look at it, and then the assistant takes a paper towel.
We're all just waiting for the joke.
Rips
We're all waiting for
yeah.
the joke that didn't work.
The dentist takes out a paper towel, and he rips it. The dental assistant rips the paper towel and then holds it open in my hand.
Uh-huh.
And the dentist goes, why don't you go ahead and take your Invisalign out. So I'm like, okay. So I take out my case, and I start taking my Invisalign out, and the guy goes, you can just put it right here in the napkin.
Yeah. Oh.
And so I was told at the dentist's office, don't put it in a napkin. And your son was told by the dentist and you multiple times because he threw it out multiple times.
Multiple times.
He threw it out because that's what happens when you put it in a napkin.
Yeah, you just throw it out.
So they offered me a napkin. And so I went, ha, nice try. Trying to get me to throw away my Invisalign. They go in the case where they belong.
Silence. Silence, I'm guessing.
Oh, we're getting rid of these today. You're going to get a new set. Okay. It was just that you told me.
Oh, sorry. I was just trying to laugh.
Oh, sorry. That
Another tell to wipe my chin off.
I was like, okay. I guess I'll just open my mouth now and stop letting words come out.
Oh for 1. Okay. Don't worry. I'll find another window somewhere.
It was just like one of those. Really? I mean, you didn't have to laugh, but you didn't even know it was a joke. That hurts more.
Yeah.
That hurts more than you didn't even recognize.
When you choose a life in tooth, Kevin, you leave the humor behind.
Man. That joke really gummed up the experience, you know?
Okay. Thanks for joining us this week. You can find us on all social media as the Dumb Dads. You want to get into Dumb Dad moments?
Yeah.
I got a fun one for you.
Okay.
I got a fun one for you. The Dumb Dad moment of the week. I don't really know how to explain this other than I forgot my...
You need to. It's an audio medium.
Not really. I forgot my PIN number for like a month.
Your debit card PIN?
Yeah. Like a month.
It's just your birthday.
Kevin. Yeah. And so here's the thing. That's my dumb dad moment. I forgot it for like a month. But here's the funny thing about this. So I don't remember when this was. Before I needed to go to Vegas for something, I was like, I'll grab money on the way home. Something like that. To my wife, you know. I mean, who carries cash anymore? That's the problem.
Okay. This is everyone else's fault. Yeah, keep going.
I mean, how often do you go to the ATM machine to get cash?
I don't know. How often do I need to make some evil photos go away, you know?
That's a wild example.
I think I moved from Massachusetts to Los Angeles to pursue acting.
We're already in the realm of like you use your phone to pay for a lot of stuff.
Right.
Which is convenient.
Yeah.
You can even go to the ATM, use your phone. You don't even need a card. You can have the phone activated or whatever. But
I haven't done
but
that.
you do need your PIN number. And so this is like a month ago, and I stopped. Here's the thing. I remember stopping at the ATM machine and typing in my PIN number, and it was wrong. And I was like,
yeah, that's part of not knowing it.
Huh? But in my mind, I was like, but that's my PIN number.
Did you ask for the card back and then rub it on your shirt?
No, I didn't. Something wrong with the reader. Although it took the card. It's like incorrect PIN. I was like, what? And now here's the thing. This is a long time ago now, but I was like, did I type it in wrong? I remember typing it in wrong, thinking like, this is my PIN number. And then it was wrong, and I was like, am I insane? And then I think back, like, now the thing is, like, you type it in what you know it is.
Yeah.
I probably typed it in wrong. Like, thinking I typed whatever, not paying enough attention.
Yeah.
But thinking that I typed it in the right way.
Right.
And it said it was wrong, and I was like, huh, okay. What, am I crazy or something? Like, and then now I'm already in my head about it. Like, how could I have possibly just typed it in wrong?
Was there a line?
Then I think like, no, there wasn't a line.
That's a disappointment.
I know. So then I think for a second, I'm like, well, maybe I just got these two numbers. Maybe I'm misremembering these two numbers. And I try like switching two numbers, wrong. And I was like, what is happening?
What's your birthday?
July 28th.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not my birthday.
You 7082?
It's not my birthday. So I typed it in again and like wrong. And I was like, I don't know what to do here. I don't know what to, so I just left. I was like, hey, I didn't get cash. I think I forgot my PIN number. My wife's like, what? So that was like the first experience. And like, no big deal. We didn't need it like immediately. So my wife, like the next day, stopped on the way home, grabbed the cash. Not a big deal. And then, it's like a week and a half later, 2 weeks later, it was like, I'll stop to get
Your wife
money.
Your wife works at a bank.
I know. I was like, I'll stop to get the money. And I thought, like, she works for a bank. She doesn't work at a bank. And I was like, I'll stop and get money. And I thought, like,
still funny.
I think my PIN number is what I used to be. And I was already in my head about it. And I went there and like second guessed everything and probably was like thinking like, maybe it's this, typed in like 3 numbers. They were all wrong. And I was like, what is happening?
Oh, that's it. It's 4 numbers.
Mm-hmm.
You typed in 3 numbers and it was wrong.
No. And then the last time was like, I need to go to Vegas. And I was like, I need to bring money. I need to be able to tip people and stuff. Can you please go get money for me? Because I was like, I have no idea what the PIN number is. So my wife goes, she gets me money. Mm-hmm. And then like a week later, after I got back, we went to, it was like morning before we're going to soccer.
Yeah.
And we're stopping at the Starbucks to get some coffee. And there's a bank right there. The ATM right there. And I was like, I'm going to run over there really quick and see if I remember my PIN number. And I typed it in right away. It was exactly correct. From the one I remember typing in the first time that I got it wrong. So I think I typed it in. I hit the wrong button or something.
Yeah, your old fingers.
And then like, my old like wiggly
hands.
Old man fingers. And then so I got it wrong. And I was like, how could that be wrong? And then second guessed the hell out of myself for a month. And then it was like, when like you're talking with somebody and you're like, oh, I just forgot what I was going to say. And if you try to think about it, you'll never remember it. And
sure.
So that was my method. It was like, just don't go to the ATM. Just don't think about getting money and then roll up and type it in. And it worked after a month.
I wish that story would be great if you were like, ha, and walked away and just left your card there. Somebody else just like walked over.
I forgot my PIN number and also got robbed.
Right.
And then, it's been a big legal battle. It was wild because for a while there, I was thinking like, I don't know what it is. How could I have possibly have just had it just leave my mind?
Yeah.
But it was because the whole time I'm thinking like, how could that have been wrong?
I will admit, not that long ago, to your credit, not that long ago, I was at the grocery store and I had left, I think for your birthday, you had it at McLeod's Brewery in Van Nuys. And I left my credit card there and I just never went around to going back to get it. So then like the next time I went and got groceries, I was like, oh, right, I still haven't. I'll pay with my debit card. And then the first number I put in was wrong. But it was just a quick reset because I hadn't used it. And I think whatever PIN I was using was like, the last 4 of my cell or something. Like one of my like rewards codes, for like bonds or rounds. And I did it and it went wrong. And I went, oh, right, I'm paying.
Well, what was wild to me is like, really, truthfully, we don't really go get that much cash anymore. It's like you don't need to carry a lot of cash. It's so convenient to pay with cards or even your phone. And so I don't even I went to go get cash, but like I couldn't have told you the time.
We're not a financial podcast.
I know, it's like I don't take money out because there's not really any in there. So I go to do it, and it's like I probably hadn't done it in months, a couple months at least.
Right.
It just don't operate like that around here. So when I probably typed it in wrong, I immediately second guessed myself. And then when I got it wrong again the second time when I went back thinking like maybe it's something different and I'm getting all my other numbers mixed up. And so now I'm trying to remember like what the right one is. I was like, I'm going to have to call. I've had this PIN number so long. I'm going to have to call and like ask them for it. They're never going to give it to me. There's no way. They give me a new card and a new PIN number. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I just want to remember it.
Especially because you'd get a new card and you'd make the PIN the old PIN, which would be a waste of everyone's time. It would be a waste of everyone's time.
And then it's like where people get frustrated with this kind of stuff. It's like, how many little things is that card attached to? Like your iTunes payment or whatever. And it's like, you got to go in and like adjust all that stuff. And it's like so tedious. Yeah. And I just thought like, if I could just remember the PIN number, then I won't have to do that.
It's like the dad marching across the street. There's an ATM. I gotta try.
That's exactly what it was. I mean, I got out of
Yeah.
the car and I was like, kids, I'll be right back. Because mommy went in to go get the Starbucks. And I was like, I'll be right back. And I went in and like, beep. And it was like, you had to do it to like open the door.
Bald fists
And it worked, and I was
didn't
like-
look either way crossing the street. Was just like laser focused.
Like I put it in the thing. I typed in the PIN number. It's right. And I was like, I knew it. It was that one all along. I somehow got it wrong the first time. And I've been second guessing myself all along. I've been second guessing my age. I feel like I'm getting older faster.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the thing. It was like a whole spiral of like, if you can't remember this kind of stuff now, what are you doing? Commit to you're gonna now you're gonna need to carry a pad around. That's where I was starting to go with all this stuff, and it was like,
Which
no, I'm
would be
gonna
really
go in there and
dumb,
remember
'cause
it.
There's things on your phone, but then you're gonna forget your phone pin.
And you're gonna forget your phone.
I mean,
and
your
you're gonna-
phone's gonna forget your face because it's aging so fast. It's unrecognizable to the phone.
Trust me, man. I went down the whole rabbit hole. I was like, what is happening? So when I went in and I typed it in, it was like, accepted it, correct. And I was like, great. I don't want any money. Exit out of here. Just give me my card back. I just wanted to prove to myself I could remember it. But that was wild. I was like,
I can't believe
what is happening to me?
I can't believe you went to Vegas and had to ask your wife for allowance.
Yeah, 100% what happened. Man, can you please go get me some of the money in our account so I can take it with me?
It's funny because like you got all tiffy like 2 podcasts ago when someone said, "I can't believe you let your husband do that." When that's clearly what happened. She let you go. She let you go have it's a little.
You know why she lets me
it's
go?
some fun money.
Not really worried about me.
Yeah.
Worried I'll get on the plane to come
She
home.
should be
Not
worried.
because just that I can find my way there.
Yeah. You're gonna get a hangover lost, but not in like any fun drug way. Just
No, just I'll get confused and all of a sudden like I'll be living in Phoenix by myself for a while.
she's worried about like sign spinners telling you this way, and you're like, well, okay.
Okay, well you're spinning it really
Yeah.
fast. I don't really know which way you're telling me I'm supposed to go.
Sell gold. Got it.
Babe, I signed us up for this there's two different timeshares we have now. They were so
We
convincing.
have 3 houses.
Well, rooms in 3 houses
Yeah.
on off season months.
Yeah.
1 month. We share this one room. and
Rasputin
off-season-
gets them for 3 weeks. And then for 1 day on the 4th week, we get it for 6 hours.
And I don't have time to explain this, but we have to pay him in cash. So if you could run to the ATM for me.
Yeah, exactly.
So there you go. I'm falling apart in front of you.
Wow. I'm glad you made it here tonight.
My wife drove me.
Yeah, okay.
She called me an Uber and typed in the address,
Yeah.
so I just had to get in the car.
And they said, Evan, and you went, I think so.
Sounds good.
Last I checked. Another joke falls
You're not wearing
on
shoes,
deaf
sir.
ears. Another joke of silence.
Yeah. Another person who's not necessarily ready for jokes.
So are you Evan or not? Yeah, I'm
Uber
Evan. I'm
driver
sorry. I'm
was
sorry.
in the-
Yes, I'm Evan. You can go. I'm sorry.
In their 6th hour of driving. Just get in the car, man.
Yeah. Don't ask me if this is a rental. I'll throw you out.
I will physically stop the car, come around, open the door, and throw you out of the car.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Mine's a doozy of a dumb dad moment. So this past Friday,
Mm-hmm.
we had our school's fall festival.
Sure.
It's a big event for us. It's one of our biggest fundraisers for the
Okay.
year so
Okay.
far. We're trying to put other ones in the works, but like last year it was our biggest. So now and last year was the first year we did it, and it was by far the biggest fundraiser. So we were like, did we just discover like the staple at the school?
Yeah.
Like, is this the thing?
This is the thing that people get up for the most.
So as our avid listeners know, I am the PTA president.
Uh-huh.
I'm also kind of the fundraising chair. We are a very small. I'm not the fundraising chair. For somebody who was voted in, but I help with all the paperwork.
Meaning they walked into the wrong room.
They said yes, and in their defense, haven't had to do anything.
to raise money for the school.
No. I mean, like, haven't had to file any of the paperwork. One, because just there's a million reasons we don't need to get into it. But so I file the paperwork, and then try to do as much as I can. So the fall festival is coming up, and you have to fill out a bunch of paperwork for it. So, and you have to fill it out in advance. And so
Apparently.
yeah. So I fill out. Here's where we're gonna get into the weeds, because it's a wild ride here in California. What you have to do to have things happen.
Yeah.
So I filled out this application through like the LAUSD, which is the public schools website.
Mm-hmm.
Filled out the application for it, submitted it in plenty of time, well in advance. I get back a rejection, and what's nice is with the rejection, they say why. And they were like, you didn't submit a request for facilities use form. And I was like, oh, okay. I had sent one, but I guess that was the wrong one. So I went to fill this other one out, which is, this is where I'm going to get into the weeds real quick. To fill out a request for facility use form.
You have to type in your PIN number.
It's an 8-page. You have to fill out, and it's not my birthday. It used to be. It did used to be. Because they give you a debit card when you're 18.
Yeah.
And they say it's default to your birthday, and you're like, I'm not going to change that for years.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. Can't forget that.
Exactly. So this is so ridiculous. To do a request for a facility use form, at the end of it, you have to attach it's 8-page document. You have to attach a bunch of things. Some of it makes sense, like proof of insurance, liability waiver. Then one of the forms you have to attach is called a request for facility use form.
Yeah.
To the request for facility use form, you have to attach a request for facility use form. It's a different form that says the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole. So anyway, I do this stuff. So long story short of that, I don't know what happened, but I resubmit it. And then I actually, to their credit, get a call from the district by a woman. And she was like, so you got rejected, then you refiled, but it looks like you've done nothing different.
That is correct, yes.
And I said to her, I go, oh no, I got rejected. I go, oh no, I got rejected because of request for facility use form. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I filled it out, and then immediately went to the application and resubmitted. And she was like, okay, great. I'm going to approve this because I want you to have, because it was like, now we're getting close to the time.
Sure.
She's like, I'm going to approve it because I don't want you to not have your event. And I'll just be on the lookout for that form. Great.
Yeah, it's a big one for us. I appreciate it.
Great. Thank you. So then we just get to it. Anyway, 3 days before the event, I have to enter another application for like a restaurant night, one of the regular school night fundraisers. If you don't have kids in school, restaurant, raise money, blah, blah, blah. And you can see all your old applications. And I can see the fall festival is denied.
Again, denied.
So now I'm like, 3 days is not enough time. So I start scrambling to figure out what is going on.
Yeah.
And I call and, credit to all the people at LAUSD in those upper departments, but they were just like, we just don't have the form. We don't have that request for facility use form. We never got it. And I was just like, okay. And I got the verbal confirmation, which means fuck all.
Sure.
With everyone. Because everybody's like, do you have that in writing? And I was like, I don't. I don't.
Yeah. That's what I got.
Yeah.
That in writing.
I was like, hold on, let me transcribe this. So
there's also a photo of me being handing it off.
Yeah. So I'm just desperately trying to solve this. I'm filling out I'm like looking for the request for facility use. I don't have proof that I submitted it, so I think something went wrong with like what I did on. Clearly something went wrong on my end. I didn't submit something. I clearly didn't finish the last step required, and then the window got closed.
Yeah, first it's like W-2s and now this.
Yeah. So now I'm like freaking out because like you can't have an event on the campus.
Fall Festival canceled.
Yeah. So we're like, Fall Festival is going to get canceled. We are in some trouble here. So I'm just trying to figure out. So I fill out a request for facility use, just right then and there on the website, submit it, get the receipt for it this time, which like confirmed, yeah, you did it wrong the first time because you right away got like, here's for your records.
Whereas previously you submitted, it's like, okay, sent, I guess.
It's in the internet and I trust that.
I put it in the internet.
Good enough for me. So I submit it, and like within like 2 hours, I get it denied.
Are you serious?
And I call and I was like, "What the fuck?" And they,
Excuse me, this is Kevin LaFerre, PTA president. I'd like to speak to. Sorry, yes, I'll hold.
oh no, yeah, the whole time I'm like not ready to fight with anybody because this is like I know it's my fault, so I'm not gonna fight with anybody. And also like
Denied again.
also as I love to say, you catch more bees with honey. All right, if I pick a fight, I'm definitely gonna lose.
100%.
So like let's see who we
100%.
can schmooze here. They probably talk to a lot of ticked off PTA people. Let's try to be the fun one. They're like, I'm gonna help them out.
Oh, yet another thing where there's the humor. You're trying to bring the humor. They're like,
No, I didn't bring any humor. I was just groveling the whole time, not a single joke. And I called and I was like, hey, I just got denied like way too fast, like way too fast. It was 8 pages, and I feel like, and they were like, we don't have enough time to go through this, so we just denied it right away. And I was like, okay. And this is like late on. This is late the day before the festival. So then the day of the festival, I go in and it's like I think I ran an errand that morning, and then I show up to the school at like 10 a.m. The fall festival is not till 2:30, right after school, and I walk in, and there's just so many moms helping out, and the school looks so nice, and they've done such a good job, and it's so well decorated, and I just want to die. Like I was like, this is really bad. Like this is.
I'm gonna have to be in a minute and be like, guys, we have to tear all this down.
So I'm like, well, I'm not gonna make that call first. The first thing I'm gonna do is just go to the principal level with her and be like, whatever. And I did. I went in the room, went in her office, leveled with her, and I was like, whatever you need to do to like pin this on me, like if that'll help, like in some way blacklist me from like volunteering ever. I don't know. And she told me, and this is where it was like, it was good because it was like, there was like a devil on my shoulder for a second. I was like, if you do this event, like nobody's going to know about it. Like the district doesn't drive around. Like you could get away with this.
The district police are just going to be.
Yeah.
Hold on. Looks like there's.
I heard
we got some activity over here.
A fall festival today. Let me just check my paperwork. What do you mean you don't have a receipt? Verbal confirmation. Good enough. Good day. That was close.
Woo! That guy's car had 3 wheels on it.
Yeah. He was wearing a fedora and a trench coat, and he was in black and white.
He's the district crooner.
So the principal then let me know, which is like, this is why I was glad like I didn't try that, because like part of me is like, probably just do it.
Man, I'll tell you what, might have defaulted to that one.
I was so close to that. I was very, very close to that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I didn't, because when I told the principal, she revealed to me nothing would probably happen to me. I'm a volunteer. But she would lose all of her credentials as a principal. So I was like, I'm glad I didn't open the first door. Because I feel bad now. I'd have felt worse then.
Correct.
So luckily, we have a phenomenal principal who is just very involved and in like not just our school, but like in the district, and like she's constantly like she's like flying here to like go to these committees, like doing whatever to help her career, help the school, like help everyone. Like she's just very involved. So because of that, she was able to like just call in favors that she never had to call in.
Right.
And they this is like, we have district heads now who are like involved on the phone, and they were able to
oh man
twist the whole thing into they changed the whole thing from a PTA fundraiser to a school-wide event, because that's like the only thing they could do as a last-minute like emergency. And that was the thing that was driving my wife and I crazy. It was like, okay, setting aside that I 1,000% screwed up, it's weird that there's no safety net for this system of a last-minute save. outside of like calling the district heads and calling in huge favors. Like it's
Yeah.
weird that they're just like, hey, if this paperwork doesn't happen, it just doesn't happen. That seems kind of silly to like shut it all down over a
Right.
technicality, but whatever. It is what it is. And so they moved it to a school-wide event. The drawback to it was you can't sell anything at the events, which is like, this was our biggest fundraiser last year.
Yeah.
But like when it came that we sent out a message of just people letting people know, like, hey, we're no longer doing this as a fundraiser. This is now, if you'd like to donate to the PTA, it's accepted as their appreciation. And luckily people showed up, and
Yeah.
because people showed up with money because they went to the ATM because they knew their PIN. And it still ended up being a wildly successful night. Everybody had fun, and a ton of people donated because they were planning on spending money when they first thought about it. When they first got wind of it a long time ago. And so it ended up turning out fine, but it was a dicey situation.
It's so I mean, it feels like one of those things, like so many things school districts, as an example, feel like they operate on the same way they've operated for a long time.
Yeah.
Nothing changes.
Yeah.
They just do it because
Yeah.
it works and no one thinks about it. And it's a constant rotation of volunteers. And so you just teach them the way that it has to happen and blah, 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 blah. But I mean, it goes back to like, I volunteer at my kid's school, and like you have to register as volunteer.
Yeah.
And to do that, you have to take a tuberculosis test.
Yeah.
And prove that you don't have tuberculosis.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
There's no like background check on you as a person, or it's just like, do you have tuberculosis?
I think they do some sort of
They probably
background
do a background check.
do.
But I mean, they kind of make a big deal about the tuberculosis thing, or you're like, I got to go to like CVS or something, and there's some, nurse is going to be like, okay.
They're like, are you
prick you, and then they go,
a member of the Communist Party? And
Yeah.
I was like, you don't have to ask me that one.
Yeah, not since I had tuberculosis.
Not since the iron lung.
Yeah. And, it's just like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
I mean, of all of the things, it just is so oddly specific of a thing. Mm-hmm. Like, if I had tuberculosis, would I look like this? I mean, people just walking around with tuberculosis just...
I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know the answer either, but it sounds pretty intense. It just is like, it was just wild to me that that's the thing. It just felt like that was the, don't forget to go, because everybody talks about it. Go get your tuberculosis test. You got to make sure you do that because they're going to get pricked. And if you don't get past them, look at your arm and you're not going to get a volunteer. And on top of that, you apply like, whatever, school starts in like August. And you apply in like June, and it's like by the first week of school, they're like, yeah, we're still waiting on the applications to come back as approvals. You're like, what? I mean, like,
yeah,
I could sign up for a bank account that I don't have enough money for on a credit card and lose a lot of my lifestyle and money in an hour.
I like that you didn't get a debit card in this option.
Exactly.
Appreciate that.
Wouldn't have even known how to start something like that if you don't have the PIN number. But, there's stuff like that where you're going, the system is so archaic that this is crazy. And you're right. You did something wrong and you didn't know what it was.
I can't.
And then you still don't even know what you did wrong. But there's got to be a cleaner, easier way to do something like that.
The temperature outside for me was 20 degrees hotter than everyone else experienced for most of that day.
Oh, yeah.
Because even when it was solved, and they were so nice, it was like one of those moments like where you're just like, you're just being professional. Where they like, there was like the principal, and then there was this assistant, like administrator, excuse me, who was so helpful and kind about the whole thing. And they were both just kind of like, well, it worked out. Don't worry about it. And I was like, I wasn't being the sad puppy because I didn't want any like, what
extra
was
sympathy.
me. I didn't want
anything,
extra sympathy, but I was like,
yeah.
You guys are being too nice. Like, you called in favors. I'm going to feel like a dick for the whole day. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to be
because if they don't call those in, or if they can't get a hold of the person at all or whatever, it doesn't happen.
Well, it's also like that thing of like, they were like, well, that worked out. Aren't we happy? And I'm like, yeah, but now I've made you call in a favor.
Yeah, I know.
It's like you didn't.
Yeah, I get that too. You're still like now.
You spent that card, man. Now you
Yeah.
you could probably use it again, but like now you've spent it. Now you've called in. Like it was just like, nah, I'm not gonna not feel like garbage for a long time about this. And I was just it was an incredibly
That sucks, man.
Such a long day. It was such a long, horrible day.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Did some of my best, like happy face dying inside.
Yeah. Well, everyone. Yeah, I'm sure you. How many times did you? The over under of you complimenting the commitment by everyone else and making the school look nice was over 30 times.
Oh yeah.
And the school, and the school looks so nice.
Yeah. But anytime like a teacher or a parent was like, "You guys did such a good job," I was like, "Don't say that to keep."
Yeah, everyone else did. Yeah, I squeaked it by, but everyone else. I also won't be here next week.
Like, have I heard what happened? That's so crazy. What do you do for work, by the way? Not important. Did you say you had a podcast? Nope, didn't.
No,
No.
Do I?
I
wouldn't. Yeah, it's about PTA.
Podcasts. Those are the silent films, right?
As silent as the dentist's office when you make a joke.
Make it an absolute lights out joke.
Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. That's the way to leave it. Guys, if you've got any dumb parent moments, please let us know. We're going to be doing a mailbag soon. So email us, dumbdadpod@gmail.com, or you can DM us on Instagram, where our handles are @thedumbdads on all platforms, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, where you can watch full episodes of this very podcast. Subscribe to the podcast on podcast
Engage with the podcast.
Rate,
review, whatever you can do. Whatever you can do to help you appreciate it.
Yeah, anything you do, we appreciate it if you've already done that. Thanks as always to Effort on SoundCloud for the music. Thanks as always to my terrific wife, Annie, and producer of this podcast, producer and editor. Thank you. Evan, do you have a joke to send us out?
I got a joke for you. Ready?
Okay.
It goes like this. A termite walks into the bar, says, "Hey, is the bartender here?" It's so stupid.
A termite walks into the bar
Yeah.
and asks, "Is the bartender here?"
Yeah, is the bartender here? Doesn't want the bartender to be there. Just wants to chew on the bar. It's so dumb.
Who did he ask?
I don't even know. It doesn't say.
All right.
It's so dumb. I like your dentist joke better. Okay, bye.
Bye. Welcome to the world, little one. Welcome to life.
How do I stop this?